Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Senior News Editor with Retail Insider. Joining me today is Lisa Amlani, who is Principal Founder of Retail Strategy Group and co-founder of The Merchant Life. Thanks, Lisa, for joining us today.
Thanks, Mario, for having me.
Well, I want to talk about 2023 and what we can expect in the retail sector this year. Tell me what, and it's going to be a challenging year from everything we've heard out there with recession possibility, with high inflation, the cost of living rising, interest rates rising, et cetera, et cetera. What do retailers have to do in this challenging environment to stay afloat, basically?
Yeah, I would say that it's really down to three things. The first thing is really truly being as customer centric as possible. And what that will do is it'll drive the second thing, which is inventory management. With everything that we've heard in terms of how excess inventory has kind of prevailed and what's happening with returns, I think managing that inventory is critical going into 2023. And the third thing is really around process efficiency and innovation around process. I think once brands can really get a handle on being customer centric, leveraging things like insights and data to drive a lot of the product and assortment decision making, what they're going to find is that they can really start to innovate around process, which will drive and accelerate speed to market.
Okay, wonderful. So let's talk about inflation and the rising costs of everything out there. If all you have to do is go on social media and you see somebody posting a photo of a picture of a piece of meat, and see how crazy it is. So
Yeah.
prices rising, what impact's that going to have on consumers in their spending habits, and also then what do retailers have to do to, I guess, manage that?
Well, I would say that the spending habits are really going to drive spending towards essentials and keeping the home warm and of course stocked, right? The fact is discretionary spending is going to change dramatically. So what we're really going to see is that customers will want their dollar to last a lot longer. And as they're spread thin, as they're saving, even though we've seen an increase in footfall in physical stores, we're seeing that a lot of that spending is happening on markdown product, just as we saw during holiday and leading up to holiday. What we're going to see is that, even though fast fashion is more accessible and of course more affordable, we are going to see a reduction in the spend in that space as well, as customers really align their values to how and where they're shopping. So I think we're going to kind of see it in twofold. We're also seeing the luxury market, sustain its sales and even grow for a certain portion of categories. And the reason that's happening, I think, is because a lot of people are still saving to spend on luxury, and those aspirational customers are still buying product, but they're definitely spending less on the things that they don't need and would rather spend on product that's going to last longer, that is more durable, and a lot of that is tied into the luxury market.
Okay, and one of the other major challenges faced by retailers today is labor. Hard to find people. Everybody's talking about labor shortages out there. Yet we know that that customer experience is so important in this day. And how do retailers combine the two? The fact that you need customer experience to be good, yet you have less people out there working.
Yeah. And I love this question because this is something that, we've been talking about for, especially at the start of 2020, where we were talking about labor shortages as stores were reopening. What we're going to start to see is really that marrying of art and science. And, the retail tech evolution and, everything that happened around retail tech and the ebbs and flows, I think retailers and brands are really truly going to enable the right technology to help them not only engage with their customer from a product perspective, but also to help a lot of the frontline workers engage with customers in a different way, with real-time information on product at their fingertips, with real-time visibility into inventory and where inventory is. A lot of that is going to drive that customer experience. And the importance of the seamlessness of that experience is really going to shine through.
Okay. And Lisa, as you've talked to people in the industry over the last few months, what are they expecting when it comes to supply chain this year? We've had some issues in the past couple
Yes.
of years. Are we through all that? Are we done?
I would say no. We are absolutely not done. I think, the shift in the chaos and disruption is a little bit more streamlined, let's call it, because we know what's happening with the challenges around inventory in terms of visibility, transparency, the product journey. What we are going to see is that investment in technology to help us have a more flexible supply chain. And I think that is really where the investment is going to take place. That's what I've been hearing from a lot of market leaders that I've been talking to, and a lot of the conferences that we've been attending lately, is that supply chain is not only the logistics from getting product from DC to customer, but it's actually from sourcing raw materials all the way to product development. That's all part of the supply chain. So what we are going to see is that investment in technology to help retailers and brands not only get closer to the customer, but to really accelerate their speed to market by eliminating some of those inefficiencies and redundant processes.
Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned technology, and obviously, it's the rage these days in any industry that you're at. How important is it for a retailer, no matter how small, to fully, I guess, utilize the technology that is on hand to help them?
Yeah, I would say it's very important. The last thing a retailer or brand of any size will want to get stuck into that, manual ways of working, which really does reduce that visibility into where the product is, and not only where the product is, like from sell through to, understanding who your customer is, capturing insights, and the importance of leveraging technology in the right way, I think is really going to be the focus of a lot of brands and retailers, no matter their size. For example, we're working with a retailer right now that is quite small, but the opportunity for them to automate some of their processes, reduce some of the guesswork that comes with assortment planning, as well as analyzing sell through to the store experience. What that's going to do is get them to spend more time on strategy and getting to know their customer and what their customer actually wants. How that will translate into end of season excess, for example, and markdown activity is it's going to actually increase their profitability and revenues as well as their margins, because they're going to be spending less time on those manual ways of working and letting technology do that work for them, so that they can focus on getting to know what their customer actually wants.
All right. Anything else, Lisa, that you wanted to mention regarding 2023 and what we can expect in the retail sector?
Yeah, I think just managing inventory is truly top of mind, and that's going to drive a lot of conversation around store formats. I think we're going to see a lot more smaller store formats because of not only the labor issue that we don't have enough staff to fill these big stores, but also we're going to be reducing the number of SKUs in those assortments, because we know that we don't need as much as we've been buying into, which is case in point, excess inventory and returns. We need to buy into the right thing. And how that happens is when you get closer to your customer, and having a smaller format store will allow you to do that. You're able to actually talk to the customer, walk the shop floor, capture some of those data points and insights to drive some of those decisions around product assortment, and of course designing of product and aesthetic, all the way to size. And I think that's what we're going to start to see. Just getting closer to the customer is really the overarching theme, and technology is really going to help a lot of retailers and brands get there.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Lisa, for joining us today.
Of course.
All right, that was
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
all right, you bet. And we'll talk again soon. That was Lisa Amlani, who is principal and founder of the Retail Strategy Group, as well as co-founder of The Merchant Life. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Senior News Editor at Retail Insider. Thanks for joining us today.